Here we are. It's the 348th episode of the Unranked Podcast. I'm Christian Humes. We have Dan Weine.
That's me.
And Tom Caswell.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ooh, we got that Hamilton Cup.
Alexander Hamilton. It's a mug. It's a cup.
Is it a mug?
No, but I'm sure they make them, you know. It's a t-shirt.
I have the wine ones. We got the wine when we were there.
Exceptionally expensive drinks, if you can believe it.
Well, yeah, I mean, any kind of live show is, you know.
Yeah.
Anytime I've gone to like the Hollywood Bowl to go to like the John Williams shows and stuff, they're
I can't
ludicrous. Although you can actually bring in your own food and drinks and stuff. So
there you go.
Like to an extent.
That's nice.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Let's just kick it off. Let's go. Today's Pokemon 348 is Arnaldo.
Okay.
Arnaldo is this week's Pokemon. Dan, I believe we did have you here last week, correct?
Yeah, I was here last week.
Great. So you saw the pre-evolution of this Pokemon. Could you guess?
I forgot all about it.
Oh yeah, I know what's up.
You remember it was the one based on the Trilobite.
Yes.
Okay, then we are Orchid over fossils. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out the last part of it, the Aldo. I'm gonna go with it's like it's kind of like an armadillo, but with white and red stripes. Like, where's Waldo?
I mean, in some ways you're not totally far off. You definitely have some of that. Well, let's go ahead and open it up.
Yeah, it's let's see.
So it's not actually based off of an armadillo. Although interestingly, like, it does have a sort of shelled back. It is still based more off of like dinosaurs and extinct animals. But it does have the red and white striped feathers still. Feathers, but they have them horizontally across the body. It's now standing on two legs. So it does have a bit of the stripes. And I mean, it is a very shielded Pokemon, like an armadillo. It's armored.
It looks like someone went inside it and stabbed it with knives from the inside out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like the knives are jutting out.
Yeah, and like blood's on the tips.
I mean, it kind of looks like an armored kaiju, right?
Yeah.
Like this looks like something that like Pacific Rim 2, the monsters are back, but this time now they have mechs. But their mechs just look like monsters. They're just, you know, sort of like a suit of armor for a kaiju. It's kind of what this looks like to me.
My
Tom.
problem with it is that it looks cool, but its eyes make it look so goofy.
Ooh, go on.
Yeah, he looks slothy.
I mean, its eyes are like so wide and separate, and it's like beady black eyes. It just kind of looks dopey when it could. It has such an intimidating body, but when you look at it, it looks like it's brain dead. It looks like it's been lobotomized.
It's interesting because I think when people first glance at it, they're not even going to catch the real eyes. They are going to look at those two in the center. You know, that thing Pokemon loves to use. Yeah, people will look at that first.
It looks like a nose more than anything.
I don't know. I mean, it just very clearly has two eyes on the side of its head.
Yeah, the sides. I mean, those. I feel like it can't see anything to the left or right.
Oh wow!
At all.
Someone did this where they removed its like eye, like
side
eyes,
eyes,
the nose, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a pretty good design.
I mean, I kind of like it. I like that there's a dumb, like, goofy looking Pokemon. I think it doesn't look like a smart.
This is giving
Pokemon.
me big Dragonite vibes.
It doesn't look like a smart Pokemon.
No, Dragonite looks even dumber for sure.
The only real problem with this Pokemon is that it's Rock Bug type, which is not a great type combination. I much prefer it over the other fossil that was in this generation, but once again, even the fossils are proving why this generation is, in my opinion, the worst generation. It's not great.
Like a boomer.
It's not great. Yeah. I'm well, what they call in Pokemon, right, in the Pokemon fandom, what they call people like Alex are Gen 1ers, which is basically like the Pokemon equivalent of of like a boomer kind of insult. they call them Gen 1ers, because it's just, oh, nothing's better than Charizard, nothing's better than the originals.
Nothing.
I don't know any
right?
of these. Alex, I like when Alex likes to say, I don't know any of these Pokemon. And I'm like, we're only one generation now away from all the games you've played. He's now at this point, because he played Gen 1, Gens 5, 6, 7, and 8. He's played 5 out of 8. He's played the majority.
Yeah, already. We're out of my range though too, for the most part.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that the first are better though, because of that. I just don't know most of them.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Not a ton to say about this Pokemon otherwise. Could someone give me the name origin information? Tom, I don't know if you have that available on you.
I can have it available on me.
Give us your best tuna.
It might be a combination of. It might be a combination of Armado, Spanish for armored, and Anomalocaris, and possibly Shield or Ald, Old Saxon for old. What the fuck is Anomalocaris? Anomalocaris.
It's going to be one of those shielded dinosaurs, I would assume. Oh, no, it's a shielded...
An extinct genus of Radiodont, an order of early diverging stem group arthropods.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's like a crustacean.
Yeah.
It looks like a dragon shrimp.
It does look like a dragon shrimp. That's
right?
It's a great way of putting that.
I enjoy this in the trivia.
Due
to an error, Arnaldo has the move Slash in his moveset twice in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and Pokemon Sun and Moon. Once at level 25 and again at level 34. It was later fixed in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon with Bug Bite replacing it.
In a couple of weeks,
it's like, are you sure you didn't want Slash? I'll give you another shot at this.
But hold on, I knew you didn't want Slash. But like, Slash.
They give him the big top hat.
Different kind of
can you believe? Yeah, I mean, it will be around 350. We got a little anniversary present coming from Game Freak. We will be adding a bunch more Pokemon to the decks.
Wait, we are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Game Freak
telling us to do it.
I forgot to tell you, Dan. Game Freak sent me an email this week, and they were like, Christian,
can you add more Pokemon to the decks?
We've only got the ones we've shown in the trailer. We haven't done the rest.
Podcast ending in 18 years or whatever the fuck it would take us to get.
I know. I'm gonna when it drops and we get a full count of how many new Pokemon there are, because day one there'll be. There'll probably be data mine leaks sooner, but I'm gonna avoid them. But day one, we'll know the exact count of new Pokemon, and then I'll run the new math. I'll run the new numbers. We'll see where we're at. Hopefully, it's sub 20 years. But we'll say, we'll find out. That's it for today's Pokemon. I'm excited to get a new fresh lineup going next week. How's everybody doing?
Good. Yeah. Been back at work this week, which has been good.
What's that? Hey.
Yeah. I mean, you have a little. You have.
Oh, I still have a job.
I
just have a different job.
You've got a situation.
If you stay semi-unemployed long enough, we can hang out on Monday when I'm there.
What day is that? What's the date?
The 21st.
On my birthday. Yeah. On my birthday, I may be at Disney. I haven't decided yet. It's possible I'll be in town. It's like 50-50. Because it's my niece's birthday the day before mine, and then it's my mom's birthday the day after mine. So I'm either going to go up and see them, or I'm going to go to Star Wars at Disney, because I haven't done that
my friend
yet.
Jordan, who's around there.
You haven't done that yet?
We were going to go, Tom, the week, we were going to go. We were thinking the same week you were going to go.
Yeah.
During the pandemic. And then the pandemic ended, and then we just haven't had time.
I just didn't know. I just didn't think, I just thought that with the proximity to it, you would have done it by now, but they're just crazy that you haven't done it. I'm excited for you. Yeah, I mean, Halloween was great. Had a lot of fun. I had plans to kind of fuck it. We've been on vacation. Halloween weekend, we'll go out with a bang and then take it easy month of November before the holidays kick in. So I was ready to go out all Halloween weekend, Friday, and by all Halloween, I mean Friday and Saturday. We went out Friday, And we were planning with like leaving the pets and stuff and leaving Zuko. And we were like, if we make it back by 2 a.m., it'll be fine. Like that amount of time that we'll be gone. Because we're going to Brooklyn, right? So we had to like trek it over there. In that amount, we're in Brooklyn, and I look at my watch as I'm just like sitting around, kind of the night's winding down. I'm like, it's 4:30 in the morning.
Oh,
and like it's easily like an hour back by the time you order the Uber, get in the car, drive back, all this stuff.
Yeah, that's an expensive Uber.
Is that late or
it
early?
Was too. What do you mean late or early?
At 4:30 in the morning, is that too late? Or now
That's
again
late.
the
That's
next
way
day is
later
too
than
early?
we planned. Oh no. I consider that late. And we basically were like, nope. Next night we're gonna keep it easy. We ended up watching the movie Barbarian, which Chris talked about a couple of weeks ago. And I know Chris has a little spooky film that he is going to talk about as well. Enjoyed it. Loved the twist. I thought it had like a really solid, like suspenseful opening.
You didn't see the trailer, right?
I knew nothing about it.
Okay, great. Because the trailer basically covers the whole first act and really gives a lot away.
Sure.
And I was unfortunate I saw the trailer because I still enjoyed it. But had I not seen the trailer, it would have been a much better movie.
The trailer the movie has a really suspenseful first half, and then it has a bonkers twist.
It turns a corner.
It turns a corner. I will say this though, when it turned the corner, I was like, oh hell yeah, like I'm super into this. This is fucking great.
Yes.
Like I'm into it. I will say that I don't think the movie sticks the landing. I think that it kind of falls flat at the end.
I think that about
satisfied.
Almost like the majority of horror movies fall apart in the final act. This one, I think, didn't totally fall apart in the final act, but it
didn't totally fall apart. But there was like, I was watching it and I was waiting for them to kind of, they had the like, this is what the thing is. And you're like, that's really nuts.
Yeah.
And I felt like they would build on that, and it doesn't. It just kind of like coasts to the end. And that's fine. It's still a solid horror movie. Honestly, the biggest surprise for me was the actor that becomes like,
it's great,
kind of like gets introduced in the middle, and Brooke freaked out because she loves them. And I was like, oh my god, it's fucking, oh my god.
This is available to rent or stream. How'd you see it?
It's on HBO Max now.
Oh, okay. Dan, you should watch this. The part of the reason we're talking vaguely about it is because and it's not like spoiling it, like it's not like it's like groundbreaking or anything, but it's just one of those movies that like it's gonna be Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
the movie is significantly better the first watch, and a lot of it comes from like them doing somewhat unexpected things, and so like knowing much about it, which is why we have talked about it vaguely.
I'm not like a big horror guy.
The movie, it's, I don't know. My barometer for scary movies is all over the place. I feel like I'm a wuss when it comes to this stuff, but then like there are movies that people
feel the same way
now. There are movies that people get scared by now, and I'm like, really? Like this scares you? Yeah, it definitely did. Try and go into it blind, which is what a lot of people have been saying, but it really does. Like the effect of the movie is not knowing what's going to happen next.
Yeah,
like the writing is pretty like flat, and I think that the direction isn't great. Like there's this one, so in the beginning, like literally within the first 5 minutes, you learn this. The inciting incident is that 2 people have double booked an Airbnb, basically. So this woman shows up at her
in Detroit.
In Detroit, she shows up. Honestly, though, the biggest effect is like when she finds out where she actually is the next morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's double booked the Airbnb. There's someone already there. That's the inciting incident. There's this moment where she like tries to like book a hotel, and she's on the phone. And she's like, hi, I'd like to book a room. Yes, for tonight. Oh, really? Oh, okay. And it was like that level of acting. And then the actor across from her goes, Oh yeah, I forgot there was like a convention in town, so you're probably not going to find anything tonight. And I'm like, am I watching a porn? What is going on right now? Like, it was like some of the performances. I think the performances overall are pretty good, but I think like just the.
I mean, that's also
that
partially because you're watching Georgina Campbell, and she's fucking very attractive.
I mean,
I think you were kind of hoping you were watching a porn.
Oh yeah, sure. I was like, oh, is this where we're going? Where I think it's.
I mean, you got Bill Skarsgård and Georgina Campbell there.
It was Bill Skarsgård.
You have two hot people hanging out in the house together. I think your mind went there because that's what you want to see go down. I love seeing
Bill Skarsgård just be like a regular person and not like the clown from It. Because I don't think I've ever seen him do anything other than be like a freak. Not to say whether he is a freak or not. This movie you have to watch. It all ramps up though when the horror like actually kicks in, and when the other actor comes involved.
Yeah, we shouldn't say much else. I think we've sold.
Go check it out. HBO Max.
You should see it.
Worth your time, and it's an hour and a half. Like that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah,
any movie that's an hour and a half is almost worth your time. So we watched that, but you saw a little horror.
Speaking of killer clowns, it has nothing on Art the Clown. So I went and I saw this movie. It's called Terrifier 2.
Yep.
Terrifier 1 is streaming. I'm gonna watch it with Matt. We're gonna watch it together tonight. We're going to see One Piece Film Red, which is why I'm gonna be bouncing early. Very excited. It's the premiere tonight. Terrifier 2 is the movie. I don't know if anyone has heard about it or heard anyone talking about this, but people are apparently like throwing up and passing out and leaving the theater due to its intense violence and gore. I thought the same thing, Dan. And I have to tell you, the throwing up part, I don't understand, but I also don't have like a squeamish visual stomach. I know there are people that do, even just for things like gross foods can make people gag. So I'm sure that is somewhat real. But my heart rate, according to my Apple Watch, was it only dipped below like 100 for like minutes at a time.
And this movie is like 3 hours long,
two and a half hours long. Tom, we were an hour in, and at one point I just turn and I look at Matt, and Matt's like this. And I'm like, I show him my watch. I go, Matt, it's only been 45 minutes. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. and that's saying something, considering like we're actually laughing during a lot of parts of it because the gore is so over the top insane. I mean, it is absolutely fucking ludicrous, the shit that I was seeing happen in this movie. But there's like it's like a primal fight or flight response that your body kind of goes into, even though you don't find it scary. And I think part of it is the screams, just these like blood curdling screams of people either like being mowed down or just sliced into pieces and like just torn apart absolutely brutally. And it's just like, even though like we're kind of laughing at how goofy it is, at the same time, you're like, oh my God, just kill the person and leave them. Just leave them. They're dead. Just stop. But we also loved it. We absolutely loved it. There's a moment towards the end. There's probably like half an hour to 40 minutes left where we're like just wiped. We're like physically exhausted. Like it felt like we went on a roller coaster ride, but then the guy was like, "You're not getting off," and just fucking like kept it running. And it was just like, it felt like you were on a roller coaster for like hours, where you're like, oh, thank God, like. Two people are just sitting in a room talking. Can this just, it'll be calm for like 2 minutes. And then it starts to get creepy. It barely ever lets you rest. Mm-hmm. And the moments that it does, they're so cheesy and poorly acted. Dan, do you remember the like telenovelas that we watched in like Spanish class in high school?
Like on the computer?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like the level of acting.
Well, in all fairness, I think it had to be bad acting in those movies because they had to be speaking slowly enough for us to understand a word they were saying.
Yes.
So like,
oh yeah, I never knew the plot of any of those.
They were bad actors.
But it's like PBS acting. Yeah, it's like, well, I guess
maybe
like that's sort of where I would put it. Like these people would have been good on like Wishbone, like doing like the play acting that they do when it's like half of the book. It's one of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. And I absolutely loved it. Art the Clown, I think, is one of the most demonic, evil, hellish characters in all of horror film.
For Arthur the Clown?
I think I've only seen it referred to as Art. but I would assume that it is short for Arthur. It could be Arturo. It could be either or, as far as I'm aware. But the only art I've ever known was an Arturo. So, but I bet it's short for both.
I'm looking it up because I am curious if it even has an answer, which it
If
probably doesn't.
honestly, so remember that scene I had you guys watch last week during the post show?
Yeah.
So we thought that was it. We were like, oh, finally that scene is here. Like, oh my God. And I will say that might be the most brutal kill in the movie. Maybe.
Oh, really? Oh,
okay. Maybe.
Okay.
But you don't get to it till over an hour in. So you are fucking, you're like already just like kind of exhausted at that point.
Yeah.
Not like of watching the movie, but just physically your body is tired from like the experience. That kill that you saw was not the entire scene.
I believe that.
It kept going. It kept going. And then when we thought it was over, it reached another level that like I couldn't even comprehend. I could never have conceived of this. I could have never thought, like, it just blew us away. Matt posted a video of himself during like one of the kills. He is not playing that up.
Your impression of him of just like leaning back like in the chair is what was happening in that video. He was just like, it was almost like a torture scene for him where he was like, I'm strapped to this chair and I just like have to like, I'm being force fed this horror.
I was right next to him basically doing the same thing. And every now and then I'd have to remind myself like, oh, this is goofy. And I'd hit him and we'd just start laughing about it because it's insane. But if I didn't do that, it starts to get to you. I think people should watch this if they just to like see if they can get through it, because it is just, it's so
next
fucking
season of Survivor.
Unbelievable,
the challenge
man.
is sit through watching Terrifier 2. Now I have a question because you've seen it now. I have not seen it. I'm like 50-50 on whether I'm going to watch it. But as I had mentioned on the previous episode, my friend Lauren plays Sierra, I believe is the character's name in this film.
Well, in Terrifier 2, I forgot you told me this.
The woman with the wings, I guess. I only know stuff.
She's the main character.
Yeah, she's the main character.
She's great. She's the best. She's the best person in the movie. She's like the best acting.
Thank God.
Other than Art the Clown. Her acting was compared to everyone else, especially oh my God, the woman who plays the mom in this movie of Sierra is it's just unbelievable. Easily the worst actor in the movie.
Sure.
That's great. She was great. She was fucking badass. She's super cool. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good, because I don't know if a part of me not wanting to watch it is like,
you don't want to watch your friend be brutally murdered.
She's like the hero, right? Like I don't want to. I don't know if you could spoil it, but like I think she makes it out.
I mean, I'm not going to say. I will just say Art the Clown is, I think.
But it's bizarre for me because I only know stuff from what she shared, and like there's shots of her in like dressed up as like the Wendy from Wendy's, and then the shots of her in this battle armor with these wings, and I'm like, how are these related? What is this character's deal? So
Art the Clown isn't like just a clown. He's clearly he has supernatural elements to him. So he has like levels of demonic possession. So I also saw Teresa and I also went and we saw Smile, which is great. Which if you are like me and you think The Ring is the best horror movie that you've ever seen, it's basically just. They copied The Ring. Do you guys know about this movie?
The Ring.
I've seen trailers for Smile. I haven't.
Smile. They had a thing where they had like people sitting during like baseball games and stuff, like behind home plate, smiling for 3 hours, creepily.
Which is wild because those people's faces must have fucking hurt by the end of that. Yeah. So it's basically The Ring. There's like this demon, evil entity that if it makes you. It'll kill you in a week, basically.
Is there a
it's basically it will
DVD element to this?
It'll kill you. No, but it's a like if the thing infects you, you're gonna then when you go infect the next person. Like it's very much like The Ring, in where like it gets passed on from person to person, and it's gonna kill you within a week. Like it is like straight up the same thing. They try to subvert it. They don't do a great job, but it's still good.
By the way, someone made a TikTok that I came across. They just took the video from The Ring and made it into a TikTok.
Oh,
like
no.
So then the whole comments is like, you just killed all of us, you bastard.
That's great. That's very good.
Ringu.
That's very good. So yeah,
I think I saw that about 7 days ago.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. I saw it. I saw it a little over a week ago. We went where I'm going to go tonight to see One Piece. It's such a weird thing to say, but like, so Universal Studios is 2 miles from me. It's just like right down the road, basically. And that's where I go see movies a lot of the time now because it's an AMC and I have A-list, and it's also where the IMAX is.
Sounds amazing.
It's kind of cool, like to go to like, oh, I'm going to go to Universal Studios, like the theme park, which also has City Walk, which is connected to the theme park, which is like a mall. So that's where I go see movies now. So I'm going there tonight for One Piece Film Red. But the other thing I did there, which is cool, bring this back to video games a little bit, is the Nintendo World is not open yet. It opens in the spring. Teresa and I got our year passes though for Universal.
How much does that cost?
We got the highest tier, so we also don't pay for parking, which is going to be helpful like with movies and stuff now.
Sure.
It's like a little over 200 if you don't do if you do the highest tier.
Year?
It's a little over 200 for the year.
Oh my god. That
it basically, if you go more than twice, you're saving money.
Yeah.
If you go more than twice, you save money. Yeah. Which is great because now the way
Universal is probably cheaper than Disney too.
Yes, it's also much smaller.
About like Disney prices.
It's much smaller. But now it's like, oh, we have a couple hours. You want to like go? Like we could just go. Do a ride or
year pass to Universal. Twitter Blue, Chris. Which one?
Yeah. No, thank you. But they do have some of the Nintendo World stores open though. So they have a ton of merch. So I picked up some shirts. I also got this really cool hat. It's this Boo hat, which I think is cool. And it says Boo in it, which is pretty dope. So yeah, it was very cool. I didn't want to leave. I just want to look at all the stuff. And I was like, I'm going to try and buy like only one thing every time I come here. Like I might go today after I see this movie and then go over to the store and buy something else.
Wait, this is for Universal Hollywood's annual pass?
Yes.
Why am I seeing the highest ones like $500?
Oh, I wonder if that's because I'm a California resident.
Maybe you get a discount. Yeah. It says the platinum annual pass is $529.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't.
The gold annual pass $279.
Be a cat like not to live there. Like the only reason I would do it is if I could go multiple times a year. It's bizarre. It's weird.
It might have been like a Southern California resident. They've always had different kind of.
Right.
Because there's so many fucking people in the state. They've always had different ways of like, oh, if you live in SoCal, we'll give you a discount to come more often. I don't know. Either way, it wasn't. It was less than the price you're seeing because the price you're seeing is about how much it costs for Therese and I to buy tickets. So
unless you have the gold pass, and they told you it's the platinum pass.
Anyway,
so, but, anyway.
Dan, what have you been up to?
Me? This thing called work where I don't get to think ever because I'm tired. I've been working a lot, and I actually have a few days off now because we have a friend's wedding on Sunday. Tuna and I will be there in Jersey City, so
I might see Dan. I might see Dan and Tuna tomorrow. If you're listening now.
Oh yeah, technically for the podcast tomorrow. Yes.
Oh no! Saturday, right?
Saturday.
Yes, tomorrow
as we're having this conversation.
Fuck, I thought it was Friday.
2 days from now.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, what? And if you're listening Sunday,
if you're listening to it in the future, maybe in the past.
What are you guys going to do? Just grab a drink?
Dan and Tuna's wedding they're attending is in Jersey City, which is
we're attending the DR wedding.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll crash it. That could be good content.
You could be like, Alex, you didn't invite me to yours, so I came to your friends.
Oh my god! Wait, I should hit up the guy that's getting married because we've met once. I should get his information, hit him up, and be like, "Hey, invite me to a wedding last minute, like officially." And I'll get a tux, or I'll do put me. I don't just like invite me, and then like I can rub it into.
So here's the thing with this wedding. So they got engaged. I want to say mid-September
this year.
So they're rushing the wedding because like his dad's not doing too well. So like I don't know if he's in the mood for like fun wedding crashing activities.
Never mind. I won't be crashing.
I would have probably just said I also don't think that Dave would ever be up for that, but
he might be if it was like a normal circumstance. I could see him getting drunk and saying sure to whatever. But
anyway,
yeah, maybe.
So that's exciting.
You playing anything? What are you playing while because you commute all the time, Dan? What are you playing on the phone?
Marvel Snap, baby. Come on, Dan. Say it. Say the words. Snap. God damn it.
I don't know why you're not playing Marvel Snap.
I mean, I still play a stupid Phase 10 game. It's just like it's mindless gin rummy type fucking game that I can
got a
play
real
on my
broken
phone.
hands over here.
Anytime I'm gonna lose a round really badly, I just close out of the app, open it right back up because it's low stakes and doesn't matter at all.
Mm.
What whose lines it anyway? The show that the points are made up and what's the thing?
Yeah, like I'm not playing against anybody, so it doesn't freaking matter. So
Fair enough. Well, this week I completed the Call of Duty campaign. Tom did as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tom and I both feel like it was pretty awesome, but they didn't stick the landing. It's weird. The final mission is
bummed.
The final mission actually has like a lot going for it. That's great for a final mission. Like it had some moments that I fucking loved.
The beginning of it, and like it just starts so strong.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But it's not even like a steady drop down, because I like that like you get to play from various different vantage points and perspectives, which is awesome. Kind of like your team splits up and you go here, you go there, you get to play from the different ones. There was a moment that I loved where I was like, oh, I have to rappel down this building.
So
like
cool.
This was like some spy shit where I'm like rappelling down a building, shooting through the windows, and then like jumping into the rooms and going from floor to floor, doing that. Like, that was awesome. And then for whatever reason, the actual like final last couple things you do were like just really lame. It would have been better if it had just cut to an FMV and I watched that stuff play out than even doing it.
I just don't know why it needed to be like,
because someone decided this game needed crafting and they were like, well, we got to put it in one more time.
So I don't hate the fact that the game had that, because the mission that happens a couple of missions before this where it's all about that, I actually thought was really cool.
It is. It's cool.
And it's very much like
but it didn't need to come back. Not here.
Yeah. The end. Yeah, I think that this game does a lot of very cool things. I love the fact that every mission kind of has like a different, like, this is a different, like that mission where you are just crafting, like that is like just, it's like the Last of Us level where you're crafting, you have to be silent and stealthy, and you're making traps and Molotovs and all this. Then they have like the Hitman mission where you're at an event and you are blending in with the crowd. You have the Sniper Elite mission, right?
Wait, which one was I at an event and I'm blending in with the crowd?
It's the one at the compound, like the person's apartment. When you meet El Sin Nombre.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was cool. That was cool as hell.
Be vague because, like, yeah.
Did you open the safes?
No, I didn't, because I was like, I'm not wasting time like trying to like.
So I found I know Dan's like me with this, which is whenever I play a game, if I find a way to like kind of break the rules of the game, I definitely do it. And I also kind of sometimes go out of my way to look for that. So I'm on the second floor of this level, Tom and Dan, and this is a mission where like you kind of have to be stealthy, which I'm not huge on. I don't really generally enjoy that stuff. So I was like not feeling this. I got caught like twice going down this hallway. But then the third time I jumped into a closet, and turns out, Tom, the AI could not open the doors. But they knew where I was, but they didn't know how to get to me. So they would just keep running back and forth. And then I just started shooting them.
Final mission?
No, this is the El Sin Nombre mission.
The El Sin Nombre,
so I'm shooting them through the closet door as they would be like, he's over here. And I'd shoot them. And then someone else would be like, oh, it's over this way. And I just like piles of bodies on the floor.
That's happened in certain games where it's always like, this is dumb, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it because it's so much easier.
Yeah, it was great. And then it turns out there's like a hidden safe here, which I didn't know was even a thing in the game. And I was like, well, there must be some kind of a code here. So I just like walked around for like 15 minutes and played it almost like a puzzle game till I found it, because like everyone else was dead. There was nothing else to do.
I did do one code, the one in the Last of Us mission I'm talking about.
So
where
there's
you're, like,
two there
hiding around. No. El Sin Nombre has a safe. There's one in the I think the mission's called Alone. It's where you play.
Yeah, there's two there.
Oh, I only got one.
And if you get those two plus the one I got, you get an achievement.
Gotcha.
The two, they're like almost like back to back. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're almost back to back.
Yeah, the campaign is cool. It does end flatly. I think that like I was running into what you had, Chris, where like like at the last moment, literally like the last minutes of the campaign, you have to stealthily like do a thing and then move around and like take out people. You were running into an issue where it was
I got checkpoint fucked because like they would see me, come kill me, and then it'd restart the checkpoint, and I was still like in that spot. I had like a half second every time it would restart the checkpoint to get out of the way. It took me close to a dozen attempts, but I didn't want to restart the fucking mission because it's a long mission.
That happened to me in like way back in the day when I was playing like Metal Gear Solid 2. And like you have to be like stealthy to take out like guards, and I got in a weird like fake checkpoint spot like that, and it was just like repeat death, repeat death, repeat death. I'm like, great, this is not fun, man.
It's annoying when that shit happens. That's been something that happens, I guess, like forever. But I would have thought by now they'd have a different way for these checkpoint systems to work, where they just look at what your gear is, and like when you pass like a checkpoint threshold, it's like, oh, this is the state of the world, but it doesn't just like put you into a broken. I don't know. There should be something smarter happening with how that loads, because you would think at this point, all these devs have played so many games that this is a thing they've run into. So when they build the checkpoint system, they should know like, okay, well, if they die, then they start here with what they had when they cross that line. And this is at like a safe state for all the characters to be reset. So they're not going to get fucked over.
Do you think like it's one of those things where like they were taught how to build a checkpoint system by the people who were taught
that's definitely what I think it is.
The original people who fucked it up.
Yeah. Because what I think it does is it just flashes wherever you are and then applies the save state, but it doesn't check to see if you're in a position that's going to auto kill you over and over again.
I just think that it's kind of like that thing where it's like that issue is so minimal, like it's going to affect only and it's
but why not fix it?
Like, well, because I think that there's a lot of work going into it's not just like a thing that you can fix like that. Like there's a lot of work that goes into it, and then maybe some games do that, but this is
some games definitely have different ways your checkpoints work. But this doesn't, which was fine. It was just annoying, and I know you were stuck with the tank doing the same fucking thing.
I had there was like the mission right before that, basically, or before them. I think it's the mission before that. There's this mission where you're in a training. And I was enjoying it because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you're in the train. It was the same thing we had in Halo. You're in a training compound, but you're not training. Like the enemy is in the compound. You got to take them out. And the same thing happens in Call of Duty. So at first I was like, I love this trope. Like I think
that was like the best bit in Infinite campaign.
It was the best bit in Halo Infinite campaign. So I was very much enjoying it. And it's basically an enemy is in a tank. And it was the same issue I was running into with Chris, where the checkpoint that it had me on, literally I was stuck in between the tank and then like a bunch of like heavy armored enemies coming in the opposite direction. And either way I went, like either I was getting taken out by them or the tank was taking me out. And it was really frustrating because the guy driving the tank is this American guy. And he's trying to convince the people, like I'm working with like the Mexican like special forces, and he's trying to convince the Mexican special forces like I am not their ally, like and he keeps going, hey muchacho, these hombres aren't your amigos, comprende, or whatever, and like a really terrible like American voice. And the problem is every time it reloaded, it was that line over over and over again. And I think I did it like maybe 24 times.
So what you're saying is
close.
Is that
so
yo
close
comprendo.
to just restarting the mission. Yes. But it literally, like, I had one more thing to do to fuck up the tank, and then the mission was over, so I didn't restart, and I was stubborn.
Fair enough.
But so the campaign overall was solid. Had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Multiplayer has been interesting. I've been enjoying it, but hasn't been gripping me in the way that I thought it would.
Third person sucks. There's a third person mode in this, Dan, and it's fucking garbage.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm not as harsh on it as Chris.
It's bad.
There we go.
And I usually like shit that's like broken, and because I'm like, oh, they did something different. Like I was pumped when I saw third person. it controls so poorly, and because like the run speed and everything matches what it is when you're in first person,
it is,
but it's not
just
made.
The camera pulled out.
Oh man, it looks weird. Like you realize like how slow your character's actually running when you're in third person, and it feels like it just doesn't work, man. It feels like kind of broken when you're playing, but not in a fun way. Like they should boost your run speed for third person. It feels like.
I don't know why, but now for some reason from that sentence, I came up with some kind of game where you have like noodle arms and you're shooting. It's like a first person shooter with noodle arms, and it's just like flailing about all the time. You try to.
I mean, I would play that.
That sounds great.
Can you fling them like Mr. Fantastic?
I don't know how much control you have over these noodle arms. It feels like you have almost no control.
Yeah, or arms, or the game arms, or the game arms. You're right. What is the game arms?
Man,
I forgot about arms.
Arms. What a time! What a time. Yeah. So it hasn't hooked me, and I think part of it is that I don't know. I feel a little bit jaded by AAA games right now. I think it's a combo of that. I'm waiting for God of War. I also know Warzone is right around the corner, and I'm really curious as to see whether the new Warzone will grip me. I'll put it this way: all of the new mechanics when it comes to Call of Duty, like especially like being able to move underwater, and things like that. Like I'm excited for them to implement them in Warzone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not like the other night I played on stream, and then like the next night I played, and then after that, and an hour and a half in, I was like, I'm just kind of I'm going to go play Mario plus Rabbids. Like I'm not, it's just not, I don't feel the urge to like one more match.
Sure.
Which is ultimately maybe healthy, which is good. But yeah,
I'm enjoying it though.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like
it's a game I want to play like if I'm playing with people that I know, but otherwise I'm not jumping into it,
Sure.
but that's fine. Yeah. I had so much fun with the campaign, and I loved that the campaign was only 8 hours. Like it was so good.
That's the best thing about Call of Duty campaigns is they do a lot with very little time. And I know every year, like if I beat one game, Chris, it's gonna be Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always nice. Yeah, so we've been playing a little bit of Call of Duty, been playing more Mario plus Rabbids, love that. Really enjoying that gameplay. I'm surprised also like the more I play, like how the new mechanics they've implemented with Mario plus Rabbids allows for so much variety and diversity and like ways you can tackle certain situations. Like the team jump mechanic, like I wasn't even doing that at first. I forgot that it was even a thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I can like move characters across the board like pretty drastically with team jump. So yeah, been enjoying Mario plus Rabbids. I haven't made it very far. Like I'm about to like only clear the first major area. So we'll see once God of War drops. But it's I've been enjoying that quite a bit.
Dan, you have any game stuff you want to check in on?
I wish I did. I don't.
You might have some game time.
I've been playing like a little bit of Madden and a little bit of like MLB, and that's pretty much all I have time for. Is like 20-minute spurts of game.
What's your favorite, like most standout Madden year?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Probably something in the 2010s.
All right.
Maybe like around there, like 2008 through 2013 range.
Okay.
This one's not that bad. This year's Madden isn't bad.
What a statement. Well, this year's game that I play a lot of is
so I mean this year's isn't bad.
Was last year the year you skipped? Because I know you've skipped
last year's year. I waited till it was absolutely free.
Okay,
and
fair
then
enough.
I played it, but it was no, actually that's not what it was. I bought it right away, and then I didn't come back to it until like I was just like bored as fuck, and it felt free. I was like, I paid for it already, so I played it a little bit, and it was just awful every time I played it. This one, at least, like it just at least feels fun. Like it's not there's always a weird balance where they're trying to find what's too easy versus like impossibly hard, and it's like a really quick jump to that. Like
when you say too easy, are you talking about what, like the way they simulate the gameplay?
The way the computer plays against you?
Oh, okay, I got it. Got it.
So like I'm not playing online against people because my internet's not reliable. For the longest time, wasn't reliable enough.
Is this
so
like a thing? Is this like with Call of Duty people? How like there are a lot of people that play Call of Duty and they don't really play the multiplayer, just do the campaign.
I play
Are
like
there
franchise
people like you
mode and
that
stuff. There's a lot of people who do that. Yeah. So like, like rookies too easy, pros too easy, all pros close but a little easy, and then like you try all Madden and it feels like the defender's not looking and he catches things with his back. Like it makes no sense. Like the game just starts making no sense at all. Like you'll be like, oh, like I'm looking off this defender, he's running left, and you throw it to the middle of the field, and they all of a sudden like somehow where the ball is, and just like they haven't found a way in since it became realistic enough to matter to make it feel realistic enough. This year's closer than last year.
What was the last time they did something unique like the truck stick?
This year, I think they have like you can do like a manual spin stick and stuff, but
it just uses your other uses like the right stick or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, they haven't done anything like that in a while. This year they upgraded the scouting reports on players. It's like, all right, it is something, I guess, but it wasn't much.
But it's like kind of who cares also. Yeah, fair enough. Well, cool. Want to move on to some news?
Sure.
I think I have every sound but news.
Oh my god, remember when we did that? Remember when we did that for a minute?
That was part of a power hour. And then
we recorded that and then it became part of the show.
Yeah. But that's why it was in the power hour.
We can record some new stuff if I see you guys this weekend.
All right, well, let's do the news. Tom, what do we got?
Nothing major this week. We did get release date details for PSVR 2. It is coming out February 22nd, 2023, and it is going to be more expensive than a PS5.
Finally.
It's $550, which makes it $150 more expensive than the digital digital PS5, and then $50 more expensive than the disc PS5. They also unveiled a bunch of games. There were some like exclusives. So Supermassive, who made the original PSVR launch game Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which was basically like a horror game on a roller coaster first-person shooter. They're basically making that again, but it's a Dark Pictures game, which is their anthology series that they've been putting out over the last couple of years.
Those are good.
Oh, you played Dark Pictures, Dan?
I haven't played. I've watched people play. It's really the same thing.
There you go. It is kind of the same thing. Yes, it's very much
you're
like
choosing
choose
options.
Your own adventure.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a VR.
I didn't know Dan played this. That's interesting.
Again, I didn't.
You watched people play.
I'm surprised that you watch people play that.
No, but I used to do like all the Telltale games and stuff.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's not out of my realm.
So there's that. There's a Crossfire game. There's a Cities game, which is like a Sim City like experience. Here's my take on this whole situation, because people, when we did the news episode, they were like, oh, for the tech specs, this is actually a pretty fair price. I'm not disputing that. My problem with it is that no one is going to buy it at that price, because that's
not true.
No,
they need to also market games towards those people who are going to buy it.
But the thing is,
like Peasant Slayer 6.
But the thing is, Dan, is that I am the target audience for the PSVR 2. I own a PS5. I could buy it, like I could spend the money on it if I wanted. And I'm someone that invests in new technology pretty frequently. Like, I buy new consoles immediately. I upgrade my phone every year. And I don't think I'm buying this thing at launch.
This is interesting. Why not?
Because, well, firstly, I have been more conscious about like not spending money willy-nilly.
See, you're not the target audience anymore. The target audience is now people who have so much money they don't have to spend it on.
Sure. But and they will sell units at launch for sure. But my thing is that I was hoping that we'd be at a different point like VR in general.
VR in general, yeah.
I thought we'd be at a different point where I was hoping that it wouldn't be as niche as it is. Like, because like I remember like in 2016 when like Quest, like I think the Quest was the first PSVR came out, and like Quest was starting to come out. I was hoping that we turn a corner with VR where it would become more appealing to the masses, and it seemed that Quest was going to do that. But now there's a whole issue with Quest and like Meta being this like piece of shit company, and Zuckerberg and all this, and their vision for VR being so like boring. So I was like, oh, maybe the PSVR 2 will be the answer. And I'm like, the problem is at that price, you've got to do one of two things. You've got to allow me to play my PSVR 1 games, which it doesn't. You cannot play any of the
that's because
compatible. That's great.
That's because the hardware is just different.
It's like a completely different right. It's a completely different technology, which is
it
fine.
Makes sense. It's just stupid.
Then if that's not the case, you got to offer me compelling reasons to pick one up. And they've got this Horizon game that I think it's launching with, but I don't think they've actually confirmed that. But the other problem is pretty much everything else is either not big enough, right? Like, for example, the Dark Pictures roller coaster shooter. Like, I've played Rush of Blood. It looks exactly the same as that. Or that experience can be played on Quest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can play that somewhere else.
You can. I will say, if you don't have a Quest, right?
At the first Quest.
If you don't have a Quest, this is also, I mean, look, it's a lot more expensive. Not significantly more.
Because you have to own a PS5 too.
Yeah. Yes. But the hardware is like bleeding edge on this. Like this has the best display, better than any other, even though it has a better display than the $1,500 headset that Facebook is selling now.
And that's my point with this, is that I think that for the specs and everything, I'm sure that Sony's selling it at a loss, you know, like I'm sure that they are.
Yes.
But it's that thing of like, cool.
They're not using those cheap ass like wands for the control. Like, there's a number of reasons why I completely understand why it costs this much, but I agree with your sentiment of like it's not compelling enough because of the games to not buy it.
Because the problem is like I love the tech, but the problem is if they don't sell enough units, they're not going to support it with good software, or they're not going to support it with robustly with software.
Right.
And so that's my concern, is that it's going to be the same issue PSVR 1 had, but it's worse. It's even more expensive. The disparity is even greater now. It isn't even costing the same as the unit that you need to run it. It costs more than that. And so my concern is that they might have thought like, oh, we'll try VR, we'll try VR again. And especially with like I know the economic climate is not something that they factored in when they started R&D on this and all that stuff. But the problem is like money is a bigger issue than ever, it feels like right now. Whether that's true or not, that is definitely like seemingly the case.
Yeah.
So sorry, Zuko is going nuts. You finish this thing.
Yeah, it's just too expensive, is what it sounds like. It's very expensive. There aren't a lot of games that are going to be available for it. However, the hardware itself is like, I mean, I personally, Dan, because you've done some VR, I think, at E3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, if I ever pick this thing up, it's just going to be because we're at E3 and they have like a test area.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really cool. I still haven't bought a VR headset because I don't want to buy Facebook's, and it bothers me that they have like the best untethered one. And there just aren't enough games for it. And I'm probably going to just continue to wait until there's like a really compelling reason to buy it. And once there is, then I will, but I'm not going to.
At some point in time, they'll get the price point down to a place that's attainable for most people.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, the
start
Quest,
putting out lots of games for it. But like,
you were able to get the Quest for like 300. So
but
which
even
was
that, like,
yeah.
Because it's like a limit.
You can't even though anymore. It costs like 400.
Yeah, they raised the price because of inflation. Because of inflation. Yeah.
Is it happening?
Oh man, it's really hard for a company to make more and more money every year by charging less and less for the same product.
I will say
4 years ago,
Meta has not, and now they're worth less than Home Depot. Which, I mean, Home Depot makes money hand over fist, but that company has lost so much of its value, and I'm here for it.
Smoked meats.
It's amazing to me that Zuckerberg is like destroying Facebook because of the metaverse and VR. I think it's fantastic.
It's going to be fun to see who wins first. Zuckerberg destroying Facebook or Elon Musk destroying Twitter.
Oh, Elon Musk will destroy Twitter faster than Zuckerberg will.
Easily.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
Twitter will, 100%.
But also, I don't think any of these alternatives that have popped up are going to, this co-host thing and whatever, like, they're all fucking garbage.
Here's the thing. Everything's going to suck, and then all of a sudden there'll be another thing.
Yes.
And it won't suck.
Yes. And I will go sign up for them so I can snag my username, like, whenever I see them pop up, and then never use them.
Going to be
and then never
Elon
use
Musk?
Them. Yeah, it's going to be Elon Musk.
It's amazing. All that someone needs to do right now is literally build Twitter.
Yes.
Again. Like, they just need to build Twitter.
You'd think so, but isn't Mastodon that, though?
No. Because you have different servers that you have to sign up for and, like, join. Okay. It is not the experience. Yeah. All these people who are joining Mastodon, first off, Mastodon, investment backers, like some shady crypto shit.
Hey, so, Tom. This is my Aliens 2 moment. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
You just put TikTok up on a whiteboard. You come in, add a little slash to the O in talk, and then add an L right after it. TikTok.
I love that.
When you said slash through it, I was thinking of 0.
Oh no. Just a little slash on the end of it, and then an L. TikTok.
I love that.
The new social media by TikTok. You got your ticks.
You're gonna get sued by TikToks.
You're gonna get sued by it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna do it. Just build it into TikTok. Even.
We'll see what happens there.
At my age, though, now
TikTok
I'm like
becoming the new Google. You know,
I feel like I'm retiring out of social media, and I'm kind of happy about it.
Yeah, there's a part like I'm not signing up for any of these other things, man.
I mean, I am just to get my username.
Mastodon, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, you think this is going to replace Twitter?
I don't think Mastodon's
the whole reason Twitter is even. The whole reason Twitter is desirable is because it's just like you have a stream of consciousness and you post your shit at the top.
Yep.
That is not what Mastodon is at all.
Oh, I didn't. If someone makes a new Twitter, right, just bring back the chronological timeline.
I know. It's an easy get.
What do you mean?
It's an easy win.
They basically got rid of that like years ago. You could go and kind of turn it back on in your settings, but they were still fucking with it. Yeah. And everything that you would see in your timeline is like algorithm based. So even though it's primarily people you follow, it's not necessarily chronological, and you don't even see the people you follow.
It's an option.
You can, but it's still kind of fucked with because when I do, I'm still seeing tweets from like it's not promoting it's not pure. It's algorithm chronological. So like you're not. If you're not following a ton of people, then sure, you'll probably see it.
The problem with it is that with retweets, when someone retweets something, it takes that time and puts it on it. Whenever they retweeted it, it counts it as that minute. So you'll see stuff from like 5 days ago if someone retweeted it that like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
it'll be on the timeline that way. But besides that, it is chronological.
Yeah, I don't think it's purely chronological.
It's not.
Because Dan, they're still picking which accounts you're seeing the tweets from.
Yes.
So like I follow 1,000 people. I'm telling you, I'm not seeing all like 1,000 tweets in perfect order. It's showing me the tweets that it thinks I want to see.
I definitely see only the Twitter accounts I most engage with. Like that's like I don't see everyone.
And they think that's what you want. It's not what I want. Right. I want to just see everything that everyone I've decided to follow has said in order.
Did
Exactly.
you go to the timeline thing though? Like it has like a time a star guy?
Yes, I've turned that on a million times. And then every time they update the app, you have to turn it back on again. Yes, I've been using it for a very long time, but if you follow enough people, you're not going to actually get. If you don't follow 100 people, then sure, you're going to get your real timeline. But if you follow more than that, it's going to promote people's things in order, but it's not going to front everyone for you. It's just it doesn't want to. It says fuck you.
Yeah. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? PSVR, too expensive.
Yeah, but it's amazing. The tech is amazing, and I thought I was going to get it. I was planning on getting it when it came out, but now I'm like, if it's that much money, I'd rather just buy a standalone headset.
And that's exactly my point. Would I want to upgrade this, or would I want to one of the big titles on it is this Walking Dead open world zombie game, but like that's going to be on MetaQuest too.
Yeah.
So my thing, I don't foresee myself in the future not having one at some point. And if they come out of the Game Awards and they're like Half-Life Alex is going to be there at launch, I'll be like, you know what? I'll pick one up for that experience. Because if I know that I can play that quality of a game on this system, sure. But my thing is like, well, they would want to promote the fact that Half-Life Alyx would be at launch before they announced the date and the price. So either it's not coming at launch or that hasn't gone through yet. So I'll probably just wait. I will probably just wait until I can snag one, until they do a sale, which I usually never say about stuff, but I definitely think I look at it and I'm like, Horizon Call of the Mountain is cool, but it's going to be the only thing that I'm really in, Moss VR 2, Moss 2. Yep. I'm not going to be able to play that. Like that would be the other game that I would want to play, but then not porting that over, at least not yet. So it's just such a high ask. The tech, I will say, but it's such a high ask.
I will say,
not enough backing it. Yeah,
those controllers look amazing, and if I'm able to use these controllers instead of my DualShock to just play any other game, I might buy this just simply to have an alternative to my most hated controller, because I'm a psychopath. All right. Well, look, I just want to say one thing.
Let me see if they have all the right buttons.
Well, I gotta head out. But first, I did want to just say, so a really weird update for Halo is fucking ray tracing is coming in the spring, which like cool, I guess. Like I didn't need ray tracing in Halo, and it's probably gonna be limited to 60 frames per second. I bet, Tom, performance. Yeah. So like I'm just never gonna use that. However, the Forge is coming out next week, and I'm very, 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 very excited about it.
Looks cool.
Yeah. Although my plan is to do God of War first. I'm gonna beat God of War and then do Forge.
Play through just mainline God of War.
Yeah. Oh, the original. Yeah. Yeah,
I meant the new one, but I don't know if you're trying to play.
I'm more than halfway through the first one, so I'm just gonna beat it this weekend at whatever. When does it come out? Next Wednesday? Tuesday?
Ragnarok is Wednesday. Yeah.
All right, so I have till Wednesday to beat it. Maybe I'll pause. Dan, I've been rewatching. Well, not rewatching. I've been watching all of Survivor. I started it like a little over a week ago.
From like season 1 on.
No, because my friend Reese, Tom, you know Reese. I saw Reese last week.
Apple Reese.
Yeah.
Okay.
He lives out in Phoenix, and he was here in town, so he came by.
Phoenix, Arizona is not like a hop, skip, and it's not like right there.
No, you can walk from Phoenix, Arizona until
it's like 4.5 hours at most. But I said he was in town, so like It's not that far. Plane ride, it's like very quick, but yeah, it's like it's driving. You can do it. You could do the drive in a day. It's fine, no problem. He was like, you should watch Survivor. And I was like, I'm thinking about it because after watching The Mole, I was like, all right, let me check out these producers. And one of the main producer for the current season of The Mole was doing Survivor for like 9 years. And I'm like, this was really good. I've heard like newer Survivors way better than it used to be. He told me to start in the 30s, which I did. And I hilariously started with, which I know Alex would be so annoyed by this. I started with Game Changer season, which had all these people who are on previous seasons, which I thought was such a weird thing to do. But I watched that one first, and it was amazing. I think it was like season 34. It was so fucking good. And then I was like, I'm just gonna hop around. I watched season 35 next because it was all new people, and now I'm making sure I'm not watching anything that has previous players on it now, unless I've seen their season first.
I want to go back and rank all the seasons in order of how good they were.
Yeah.
That'll be good activity.
I've seen everything through 2006. I stopped watching in 2006. So
you stopped watching roughly season 10?
Yeah. So basically, I have like 4 or 5 seasons that are like not in HD, I think.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I tried loading one of those up, and it was like, not only is the production value just so bad, but like the games are so simple.
I wouldn't even tell you to watch those.
Yeah.
There's like in the 20s, there's some really, really good seasons.
So that's around where it goes to HD. So I started with 20, and then I also watched 20. I think 21 was the one, which was one of my favorites. It was so awesome, but it had easily like 2 of the worst characters in all of Survivor. Nyanka, who I fucking could not stand. She was so annoying. She's the one who like tackled and fought the girl with one leg. And she was just like, she would
wait, there was a girl with one leg that season too?
Yeah.
Because there's a girl with one leg this season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm watching this season's as well, just because I figure I may as well be on top of it. But yeah, I've been watching Mad Survivor. I watched 3 seasons in 2 days.
Season 19 is one of the best seasons. And
okay.
It starts off like a run of like 10 pretty good seasons in a row.
right now I'm watching the current season, which I decided to do yesterday. So I caught up on the current season yesterday. I can watch at least I can watch about a whole season a day, sometimes a little more. Yeah. So I'm just gonna mainline all Survivor over the next month.
Season 19 is the season that started to change the game to what it kind of is, or was in the 30s into 40-ish.
Okay,
now the game even changed again. But
it seems like it changed a lot in the 30s, and it feels much more solidly close to what it currently is. Right now, the one I'm watching along with the current season is the Reverse the Curse season. I think this is season 36 I'm watching right now. It's Reverse the Curse, and it's like
I can't remember any. There were so many shitty, weird gimmicks they did for a bit that I can't remember them anymore.
Well, this one is it has like idols and advantages from previous seasons that were played wrongly.
Oh, okay.
They've come back and people get
times. I think they did it again like a couple seasons after, and they were like, yeah, this person didn't use it correctly in blank season. Can you do it better? Like that kind of
exactly
thing. Yeah.
So, which I think is fun.
Okay, so Chris is gone. He's gonna go see One Piece Red.
Is that a sequel to One Piece Blue?
I mean, it could
be.
Or
is it the same generation?
Yeah, I don't really know what the deal is with it. I don't understand how One Piece works, if I'm being honest. Anyway, so we are going to do some reader mail, and then we are going to move on to a game. So we've got 2 bits of reader mail here, Dan. The first one is from Narcus.
No one reads this podcast.
Listener mail. You can join. The easiest way to do it is to join our Discord, which is in the show notes. But you can also email us, email at unrankedpodcast.com. There's also a voicemail option as well. We love getting voicemails. It's always a lot of fun to hear voices. Sorry if you sent in a voicemail in the last week. I don't have access to that, but we will save it for next week. But we do have 2 great questions from the Discord. Again, Discord in the show notes, questions for the pod channel. First question, is from Narcus. He does say not necessarily for the podcast, but here we are. Narcus says not necessarily for the podcast, but feel free to answer it there. I've always wanted to live in America since I was little, but I will settle on visiting. You don't want to live here, but I will settle for visiting one day. I'm 37 and have yet to go due to life getting in the way, etc. But one day I will get there. I was wondering how vegan friendly it is there. I have been vegan for a year where I live can be a bit iffy on places you go to eat, and the selection of food isn't always great. I know things change, and I know it will depend on places I go, but I was just wondering. So you're going to
Tom, you're probably better to answer this than I am, since you've been to both places.
Been to
America and also like England and stuff.
Is Narcus from England?
I don't know. I was guessing he was, honestly.
Even if he was, like, I am not the veganism I don't even think was really
no the vegan part I didn't think so. I just thought you meant like size wise of the countries to compare them.
Oh, sure. I mean, I would just say any of the major cities in the US is going to be, you're going to find vegan options. If you go to California,
most of the major cities in the US.
Yeah, most of the major cities in the US. I'll tell you this, and look, I know I'm a Philly stan, right? I know I'm a Philadelphia stan, but the beautiful thing about Philadelphia is that it is a major American city, but you can see it all in a very short amount of time. You go to Los Angeles, you go to New York, those are going to be not only more expensive trips, especially if you're traveling. I don't know where in the world you live, but getting to California is much harder from other places than here on the East Coast. And if you do go to New York, if you were to go on the East Coast, you are going to run into, obviously, it being very expensive. And there's just so much to do here that you're not going to be able to maximize your time. The great thing about Philly is not only is it cheaper, it's much smaller. There's a lot to see and do, but you can do it in a pretty short amount of time. And it's a great food city as well. So my money would be going to Philly. But I would say if you're going to do America, New York would have to be it. And there will definitely be plenty of vegan-friendly options here in the city.
I've only seen 2 people ever do America, and their names were Beavis and Butthead.
There was that Daisy Does America in the mid 2000s. I remember that being a show.
What the hell's Daisy doing? Well, I guess that was
Daisy Daisy Does America was like
Daisy?
they got Daisy Does America from, this is all just off of my memory, is they got this like kind of British bimbo kind of character to come to America and just meet like random people in America and like interview them. So it's
pretty much like that Tara Reid travel show, but the opposite. She wasn't traveling away from America; she's traveling to America.
Yeah, she's coming to America, and I remember like her talking to someone in, like Arizona or some fucking state, and talking about how like someone like shot at them while they were driving, and they were like they had bullets in my beer, and she thought in your beard, like he got shot in the beard, and apparently he was saying vehicle. That's what I remember from that show. And it's called Daisy Does America. Anyway, I would say come to New York if you have the time, the money, and want to go all out. Like if you're like, I only have one chance to go to America, like you can't beat New York. And when it comes to the vegan options, you're not going to find really a city maybe other than Los Angeles that is going to cater to that need more.
When I was in Milwaukee, like it's a small city, but like a good amount of the places had like vegan options.
I'm sure that they do, but are you going to tell someone?
I'm not saying it's the one place you're going to visit. I'm just saying like smaller cities have vegan options too.
Yes. You can find vegan in other places for sure, but you're definitely going to find tons of vegan options here in New York. And it's also like, well, if you're visiting, like this is the place to be rather than like Kansas City.
Stay out of New York. It's got too many in the way people already.
Do you have any? Okay, so your Milwaukee was Dan's.
I'm not saying that's my recommendation. I'm just saying.
Do you have anywhere else? Where would you recommend this person goes?
I don't know. It depends what they want to do and see. Like, I mean, you're not going to be able.
They want to eat
like,
vegan
I want to
food.
see 5 things across the country and see them in 3 days. It's not going to happen. I don't know. I haven't been to enough places to recommend one particular one, but yeah,
I would say if you could do it,
LA is the best weather. Well, San Diego or LA, you'll have the best weather.
California has the best weather for sure. I would say if you could do it, like make a meal of America, like talking about vegan, like take a month and travel to multiple cities if you have the means to do that, because it is such a diverse country, not only with the types of people you're going to meet in some places are not very diverse.
Is there a lot of diversity with vegan food though?
Not vegan food, but I'm talking about like, I'm just talking about from the travel perspective now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because but like from like a geographic standpoint, there are very few places in the world that are as geographically diverse as America. Maybe South America, but obviously that is a part of America. But if we're talking about the U.S., you have places that are deserts, you have places that are in rainforests, you have places that are urban, rural, you have places the mountains.
Wait, hold on. In the U.S., where are the rainforests?
Seattle, Washington State.
That's not a rainforest. A rainforest is like
it's like one of the biggest rainforests on the planet is in Washington State.
It's not considered a rainforest.
It is 100% a rainforest. On the coast, on the border of Seattle, it is a fucking rainforest.
I need Chris at home then.
It's a rainforest.
Okay, yeah. It's the only temperate rainforest. Okay,
there you go.
Fair enough. I was wrong.
Anyway,
I'd never heard it considered that, but I guess it is technically.
Yeah,
when I think rainforest, I think like jungle type rainforest, like South America. Stuff
it is that. It just happens to be in Washington State. It's not a tropical climate, but it is. You have the flora that you would find in a regular rainforest. Anyway, great country geographically, not so great politically and for other reasons. Anyway, all right, Dan, next question. If you were to learn how to speed run a game, which game would you choose to learn? if you were to speed run something, what would you?
It has to be a game that people speed run, or can I pick like any fucking game?
I think you can pick anything you want.
See, because that's two very different questions, I guess. Because there's certain games that people generally speed run, and then there's other games. Let's see. I'm not a huge speedrunner. Type. Like, I
No,
don't
me
love
neither.
That, so I'd probably pick something short. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good answer to this.
I'll give mine. I think I have mine. So one of my favorite games is Death Stranding, and I think I'd pick that because I think it'll be interesting to see because it's all about like doing a slow pace. You're walking everywhere. How fast can I complete that game? Because I think it took me like 70 hours when I did my first playthrough of it. Granted, I was doing a lot of side missions and stuff, so if I cut those out,
I tried doing that game fast, and I fucked up. I think we've lost internet connection. I didn't hear anything you just said.
I didn't say anything. You were like coming in like slowly and robotically.
Oh, you froze on my screen, so we had an internet bloop there.
That was a bloop. You were saying that you tried to play Death Stranding fast.
Oh, I heard a bunch of what you said after that, but
oh, okay, yeah. I mean, Death Stranding would be my pick.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a pick?
I mean, it would probably be something like shorter. So like, I could do like one of the. I mean, I was thinking like one of the early Mafia games, like 1 or 2, wasn't too bad. You could try to speedrun that.
Those are quick. Those are
pretty quick games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anything that would take like 50 hours while doing it fast, as opposed to 70 normally.
Right.
Just because I would hate that so much.
There you go. So Mafia for Dan, Death Stranding for me. All right, Dan, we do have a game. Now my question is Chris sent me a prompt, but I'm assuming he sent you the same prompt. Is that correct?
I don't think I got anything from Chris.
Okay.
I have nothing from Chris. So if he meant to send me a prompt,
oh, okay, never mind.
So I have no prompt.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm promptless.
It's a prompt for me, for you. Okay. Basically what this is it's kind of like Rate That Game, but instead of trying to figure out what the review score is of a specific game, right? You're trying to figure out like, oh, I give you a game example, you say, oh, that game IGN gave it an 8 point whatever. I'm going to give you 3 installments per round from a franchise. Okay. And you have to tell me which installment got the best review score.
Okay, so I got a 1 in 3 shot.
You have a 1 in 3 shot here. I'm just pulling up stuff. All right, Dan. So the first franchise that we are pulling from is Madden. Obviously, in recent years, not been great, but that wasn't
That's
always.
What Chris asked me earlier. What I think the best Madden is.
That wasn't.
I had no idea.
That wasn't always the case.
Wait, you mean it used to be good? I don't even remember those days.
It did. It did used to be good.
I remember it used to be good.
So I've got 3 Madden games for you, and I want you to tell me which of these Madden games got the best review score from IGN.
Okay.
Are we looking at the best being Madden NFL 12? Are we looking at the best being Madden NFL 13? Or are we looking at the best being Madden NFL 25, which was Madden NFL 14?
Let's go with 12.
You're going with 12?
Why not?
Unfortunately,
it's such a crapshoot because you have no idea where. Like, I have no idea what the difference between the games is, and like what IGN might have thought of the games.
So it was NHL 12. Madden 12.
NFL. Okay.
Yeah, NFL. Madden 12 got an 8. Madden 25, the one that came out for that would have been 2014, got an 8.5, and Madden 13 got a 9. So Madden 13 was the answer.
Okay. I knew it wasn't 14
that we were looking for there.
I didn't remember loving the Madden 25 game because that one stood out, obviously, because it wasn't just another number. It was like a weird skip to the number. But okay, I'll accept that. That's in the range of when they were still good.
It is indeed. All right, the next franchise, I gave it away a little bit here. The next franchise that we are picking is NHL.
Okay.
And I have 3 NHL installments. I have NHL 7, NHL 8.
You mean 07?
07, yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter because those are years.
NHL 8 and NHL 09. Which of those got the best review score? 07, 08, 09.
That's tough. I mean, I would hope he's not just putting the best one in the middle every time. Again, it's like a fucking crapshoot. Let's go with 09. Just guessing.
09 is correct. Congratulations. Yeah. NHL 09 got a score of 9 out of 10.
You know what I based that off
of? The fact that it was the highest number of the 3.
No, just fucking nothing. I just guessed.
NHL 09 got a 9, NHL 8 got an 8.6, and NHL 07 got an 8.7. So they apparently NHL 9 did a little bit to get a couple more points on the board, as they say in sports. Excuse me. All right. We're moving on from sports games, Dan, because it is a little bit of a crapshoot.
Those are boring as hell to answer these questions too.
Gears of War. Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. Gears of War 1 came out in 2005. Gears of War 2 came out in 2008. Gears of War 3 came out in 2011. All games on the Xbox 360.
Now, Gears of War 1, is it actually titled Gears of War 1 or just Gears of War?
It's just called Gears of War. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if there was some other game that came out afterwards they called one or something.
No. That's good though. That's good. Good for asking.
I feel like the sequel's always the best one, but 3 could be good also. Let's go 2.
2. All right. So we have Gears of War 2. Unfortunately, Gears of War 2 is the lowest rated of the 3, but not by much. Gears of War 2 got an 8.9.
Okay.
Gears of War 3 got a 9, so it's 0.1 better.
Really? The original Gears of War is a 9.4 or something?
9.4 is on the money, exactly what you got.
Oh, I only had so many numbers to guess from there. But I won't take too much credit with guessing that one.
You get a little extra there. I mean, you're not playing against anyone, but there you go.
I feel like that almost never happens, especially with like first-person shooter games or shooting games in general. Like usually they come out with one, and everyone's like, "Yeah, it wasn't bad," and then they come out with like the second one, they're like, "Oh my god, this is the best version of this."
I think that Gears of War was just. I mean, granted,
strong.
Granted, also like they are different reviewers, so it is that old chestnut. But at the same time, I think that it is a case of the original being groundbreaking in a lot of ways, and so like we're kind of seeing it with God of War Ragnarok right now. Like it is not it's not reviewing better. I think actually its Metacritic score is exactly the same as the first God of War currently. It's not bad. Even though a lot of people are like, oh, it's it improves in so many ways, but like to a lot of people it is. I mean, some places did give the first God of War a 10, so it literally cannot be better than the first God of War.
I call that. Actually, I don't call it anything. I'm coming up with a name for it right now. I'm gonna call it the dunk contest problem. I'm just gonna call it the dunk contest problem, where like the NBA dunk contest for years was fun to watch because people were doing new and innovative things, but then around 10 years ago, maybe a little more. Everyone started getting 10s on every dunk, and when everything's a 10, it's very boring because nothing's a 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Yeah, it
so
has
nothing can possibly compare to, even if it's better, it can't compare because you already hit the limit.
Well, speaking of hitting the limit, the next franchise we are going to talk about is Halo. Okay. Also a 360 game. Sorry, not the original Halo. An Xbox franchise is what I meant to say. So we have Halos 1, 2, and 3. Some might say those are the best Halo games. But what do you say, Dan? Which of the original Halo trilogy do you think IGN gave the best score?
I don't think it's going to be the right answer. I think 2's the best game, but I don't know if it scored the best. I feel like the original Halo probably was pretty high, but maybe not all the way because but 2 had like really had like the online multiplayer for the first time, like down. I'm just curious because I feel like everyone likes 2 better, but 3 I feel like got the better score.
Okay.
And if it's 2, then I overthought this completely. But on the record, saying 2 is the best game of the 3. Okay, 3 is my answer though.
You should have stuck with 2 because 2 was the highest rated. Now, granted, it was all very, very close. There's probably
the worst of the 3, though.
There's probably no trilogy in history that has as high a consistent score as this. Halo 1 got a 9.7.
Yeah.
Halo 2 got a 9.8. And Halo 3 got a 9.5. So Halo 3 was actually the fucked up part is rated.
I was imagining in my head I could see the fucking label where it said 9.8 on it. Like I knew it was 9.8, and I was like, did they give it a fucking 10 for the third one?
There you go. Well, let's see how you fare with this last trilogy of games in celebration of Ragnarok about to release around the corner. We're talking the original God of War trilogy, all right? So this is the
one I have
God of War on
PS2.
God of War PS2. I'll tell you this. The original trilogy of games very much as revealed. Like God of War at this point in time was the Halo of the PlayStation era. It was the darling AAA franchise, highly rated, all of these games. But which game was rated best, Dan? We have God of War, which came in 2005 on PS2. We have God of War 2, which came in 2007 for PS2. It was the last major release for the PS2 before switching over to PS3. And then we do have God of War 3 that came in 2010 for the PlayStation 3. So which of these 3 games was rated highest?
I'm going 3. It has the best ring to it in my head, which probably means at some point I heard about it.
God of War 3 got a 9.3, Dan.
Oh, that's not good enough, is it?
Now, is that better than God of Wars 1 and 2?
Well, here's the thing. Now, am I actually getting a choice where I can switch it? Are you going to give me the showcase game?
I'll tell you this. Giving granted, you're not playing against anyone, but I'll give you this. God of War 3 is the lowest rated of the 3.
Oh, okay.
Now, which of the 2 previous God of War games was the highest rated? If you get this right, you're a big winner. But if you get it wrong, you're a big loser. It's double or nothing.
Well, then I got to get it wrong.
And you have to wear a name tag.
Reality here. Let's go with 2. Let's go with 2.
You are the biggest loser, Dan, because 2 got a measly 9.7. God of War 1 got a 9.8. It was 0.1 better.
That's essentially the same.
0.1 better. 0.1 better.
I'm curious how the scoring used to go when they were coming up, like the decimal points, like if there was actually a scoring system, or if it was just some dude who was like, that just felt like more of a 0.8 than a 0.6 to me. Like,
it's funny because I've never worked for a site. I've never had to review something officially that
with
hasn't
a score?
done.
Yeah.
No, I've done stuff with a score, but I've only done like half
points. See, that makes more sense.
You can wrap your head around that.
Yeah, you can't be like, ooh, I feel like that game was a 9.7. Someone's like arguing like that was a 9.6. Like, how do you even have that argument? You're like, Maybe.
Well, Dan, I tell you this. So we gave Ragnarok, the new one. GameSpot gave Ragnarok a 9. Okay. Which is the score they gave God of War 2018. We gave Ragnarok a 9, and the people in our chat that are like, how could you? This is a 10. I'm like, you motherfuckers aren't even playing the game yet.
Yeah, you haven't played it. You have no idea.
I love it, man. I have turned a corner on troll comments where I feed off of them because my job is to generate engagement. So if you're going to get into a thing and let me read to you, Dan, a little inside scoop. So I posted a TikTok cut to GameSpot's TikTok of our review. Oh my God, yes. So I have a video that I posted that was literally just like took me 2 seconds because someone from in our San Francisco office sent it to us. If you play God of War on the original PS4, it like makes the PS4 sound like an airplane. So it's just them recording it playing on a PS4 and like the sound and the text saying God of War.
I saw like that one. I think that's why I muted you.
Well, there you go. Well, it's like at 150k views, and I'm like, that literally took me 2 seconds. Amazing, and I only posted it a couple of hours ago. But in our God of War, in our God of War Ragnarok review post that I put up, someone posted, "Game ain't even out yet. Chill with the reviews." And the moment that I saw that someone commented that, I was like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this little drop of gold for people to latch on and be like, they get copies early and like just like the back and forth. Oh, I just love engagement so much.
I don't know how not so much you. I don't know how people who have like crazy big accounts I can't even fathom the engagement they get. I literally have one comment, right? This is one comment on one post that I've had like 300 people like in the last like 2 days, and it feels like insane to me.
Yeah,
that I'm like, I'm not even. This isn't my content. It's just like someone liked my fucking comment.
Anytime,
it's just nonstop alerts.
I don't have notifications for any of that turned on, and then even on my personal account where like I'm obviously like more invested personally, like if I have a tweet blow up, at first I'm like, oh, this is sick. Like people engaging with my tweet. And then after a couple of like 1,000 likes and like 100 comments, I'm like, I wish this never happened to me. This is a curse. I want to throw Elon Musk can have my blue check. I don't give a fuck. I'm getting out of here. Getting out of this hellscape. Oh, anyway. All right, Dan. Well, congratulations. You are a big loser. Thank you for playing.
I lost in a game against nobody else.
Let's get out of here. Where can people find you?
People can find me at Big Dan 815 on Twitter. If I ever stream again on Twitch and on PlayStation, and you can find me at the Big Dan 815 on Xbox.
There we go. I am Great Britom on every platform. Go check out GameSpot's TikTok. We are very close to 200,000 followers, which is very exciting. So go check that out. Yeah, go check out everything in the notes. Go check out the Discord. Definitely go participate in the Discord. It's a ton of fun. We got the big 350 episode coming around the corner. We've also got some fun holiday ideas coming up. So there's never been a better time to be a fan of the Unranked podcast. Make sure to rate and review us. And until next time, everyone, stay unranked.
And yeah, you can suck it.
Yeah. So.